Hello, I'm Cressida Cowell, and I am the author and the illustrator of the How to Train Your Dragon books and the Wizards of Once series, and I'm also the Waterstones Children's Laureate. I'm here today to do a very special announcement. It's the cover reveal of the last in the Wizards of Once series, Wizards of Once Never and Forever, which is publishing in September. Before I do that, though, I thought I'd just give you a bit of a background about Wizards of Once. When I was first planning Wizards, I knew that one of the important themes was going to be about empathy and about the two different tribes who have been fighting each other for centuries, working together despite their bitter historical differences. So trying to see things from each other's point of view. So Never and Forever is an epic book because not only the whole Wizards and Warrior tribes are involved in a giant battle. Whatever happens, their world is going to change forever. And it's about whether or not the Wizards and the Warriors can be persuaded by Zara and Wish, the heroes, to join forces against the terrible power of the King Witch, whose searing evil threatens not only the wild woods but all the magical creatures, and he represents the threat really to nature itself. At the beginning of the book, Zara and Wish are on their final leg of their journey, which is to find the spell, the last ingredients of the spell to get rid of witches. And their first stop is this terrible place called the Mines of Happiness. Really should be the Mines of Unhappiness, but it's a bad place to start. Zara needs to, he's got this witch stain that is taking him terribly to the witch's side, and so he really needs this spell to get rid of this this witch stain. Wish has got to achieve her destiny. She's got to own her destiny, her power. And Squeeze Juice is in the most terrible trouble. I felt rather bad about Squeeze Juice, very bad about Squeeze Juice. Anyway, in their way is this dreadful creature called the Cowell, which is sort of a bit dragon-like. And in this book, by the way, you also find out at last, I promise this, who the narrator is of this story, because lots of people have been guessing about who it might be. I'm going to give you a quick sneak peek of the book, right? Not tell you who the narrator is, but I'll give you a quick sneak peek. This is in the first chapter where Wish and Zara and Bodkin are right at the bottom of the Mines of Happiness, and they're looking for, actually it's not an ingredient, they're looking for the cup of second chances, which the spell to get rid of witches has to be mixed in. And they suddenly discover, oh my goodness, they've been going in the wrong direction, because Zara has been holding the spelling book in the hand, which has the witch stain on it, so it's taking them in the wrong direction. And oh my goodness, they suddenly realize they smell a terrible smell, and in the tunnel behind them, two glowing eyes appeared. The Tatzelworm, pot cat, pot dragon. So this is quite interesting. This is sort of almost linking up with, anyway, they could hear the scrape of the claws on the tunnel floor, the long languorous flop of an impossibly huge serpentine body oiling its way through the passages. Crawl! Yeah, this is my nightmare, actually, being trapped underground. Crawling away. Crawl! Yelled Wish, scuttling away on her hands and knees, going first down the tunnel, and Bodkin followed, with Zara crying after them, "No, guys, no, don't run away, we have to face it." "We're not running, we're crawling," panted Bodkin, rather hysterically to himself. So frantic with fear that he did not notice the passages he was crawling down after Wish were getting narrower and narrower, until he had to crouch lower and lower, until finally he was squirming on his tummy through the dirt, and the ceiling was pressing down on him, and oh my goodness, he could squirm no further. He was stuck. He tried desperately to wriggle forward, no, he was jammed tight like a cork in a bottle. Wish was smaller and even skinnier than Bodkin was. So she had got through the particularly narrow bit, and she was hauling on Bodkin's arm as hard as she could, and every little sprite was joining in as well. heaving away as hard as they could. Even Caliban took hold of Podkin's sleeve in his beak and gave it a really strong tug, but it was no good. Bodkin would not budge. Now Bodkin really did panic. As his back's legs, Tsar was panicking too, trying to thrust him forward. Move! Screamed Tsar, but Bodkin could not move, which left Tsar having to face what was coming down the passages towards them, whether he wanted to or not. And look, the enchanted spoon is going crazy, because what's coming is the dreadful smell was now so sickly near that Tsar had to put his hand over his face to fend his nostrils from the ghastly poison of it. There was a horrible pause, and then with startling suddenness, a great clawed hand came shooting out of the darkness and trapped Tsar beneath it. That's a reading from chapter 1. That's just how it starts. So as you can see, this is quite an exciting book. In September, you'll be able to read the whole book, and I'll have finished all the illustrations. And between now and then, keep an eye on my YouTube channel, which is called Cressida Cowell Official, because I'll be giving a few more sneak peeks of the book. And I'll be signing loads of books for Waterstones, and there'll be a limited number of Waterstones books which will have this really cool blue edge on it, on the side of the book, you know, here. I love that. Many people don't know that I'm also the illustrator of the books, and I drew the cover images and I put them together with along with the whole book, with my wonderful designer Sam. And we work really hard to make sure that each book is exciting and dramatic, so that you really want to pick it up, so that it's like a sweet, not a Brussels sprout. Are you ready to see the cover of This Is Once, Never and Forever? I'm really excited to show it to you. So 3, 2, 1. Here it is.